Hey, hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
All good. So, how's your day going so far?
It's a crazy day with the hot weather.
Yeah, the summer is just getting started. Could you please give us a little bit intro about yourself and the company?
Myself, Aditya Sharma. So I'm working as a cyber solution director for Port53. I joined this company somewhere around 5-6 months back. Prior to this, I was there with some leading distributors and system integrators, tier one system integrator, as a senior solution architect. About Port53, so we are a leading provider of cloud-based cybersecurity delivery as an MSSP partner for Cisco, and we deal into Cisco security, Meraki, and their other solution offerings. So we have built a robust professional and managed services team of a pod of 25-30 members based out of India, and we have been offering to help implement and optimize our client cybersecurity complete posture. So we start as in consulting. We do a gap assessment, and post understanding the complete architecture of the customer and doing our own basic level of due diligence, we move further as in solutioning and the offering of what actually suits to the customer. So this is how the basic approach what we follow as in Port 53 as an out.
So, thank you so much for that intro. And why Middle East and why not the other regions to launch?
Yeah. So we are not only available with Middle East. So we started our journey with New York, and then we moved to London, Vancouver, and Bangalore, and then Dubai. So just to give an walkthrough of journey,
Yeah.
how Port 53 born and brought up, and where we started with our first offers. In 2016, we launched back in California. That is where then we thought of expanding our portfolio, and then we moved to Canada back in 2018. Then coming up with a lot of other offerings in cybersecurity, right from the GRC standpoint and from the managed services point of time. Then we launched back in Europe, understanding the landscape of cybersecurity and the kind of ask we were getting from our back in California office and Canada offices. So we launched there, and then in 2022 we opened our services sector back in India, which is based out of Bangalore. And then looking at the landscape of cybersecurity, how it had been moving from West to back in Asia, we thought there is a small gap, which is Middle East. And we thought of why delete that space? The way Middle East is growing, it can be the complete GCC or the Saudi of that matter. Looking at the market trend, we thought this is the best time to launch in GCC region. So that's where Dubai came into picture, and we thought let's give it,
Which is a tech hub.
yeah, which is the tech hub now. So this is where we thought of getting our foots back in this region, and by far we have a very good feedback from the customers by far. So Port 53, I would say we have more than 2,700 customers, which is already on board with us. So which gives a lot of story for us to talk back in this region, right? So when we come and talk about a ONGC company, oil and gas companies, or let's say a telco for that matter, or healthcare for that matter. So we have customers basically in every region. So we understand customer and their customers ask. So since we had a good story back, so we thought let's not leave a space back in globe, and that is where Dubai happens to us.
So, why should one choose Port 53 and Cisco services?
Yeah, that's a nice question. So first of all, we need to understand the complete cyber attack landscape, how the multi-vectors are involved in the complete. Let's take an example of ransomware for that matter. So there are multiple vectors which are involved in the complete story of attack, right? It can be your email, it can be your DNS, it can be a user device, machine, or it can be a third party for that matter, right? So all this are the dots of an attack, right?
Right.
Which ideally we take care of from our platform, which is an Cisco XDR, which I've definitely drilled down more and will talk in more depth. So with Port 53, first of all, we follow an approach of like I was mentioning, we just don't go and sell the point solution. So we want to be the customer advocate, and let's get on the customer painful shoes and understand what exactly they want. So there is a methodology how we take care of the complete story, the complete drill with customer. So the very first thing what we do is a gap assessment, wherein we go, we understand, sit with customer, we see what is exactly customer is feeling about the his current infrastructure and make him so comfortable to open up with us. And on top of it, we do a proper drill down in gap assessment, create a report. We give him, this is your pre, this is your post. If you do this, that, and rest of the other solution implementation, this is how your posture will look like.
Something like a vulnerability assessment.
Not exactly like a vulnerability assessment, but a part of, so vulnerability assessment is one of the threat on the gap assessment. So when we say gap assessment, we do all those SCAs of that matter. Like we do the security compliance, all that kind of stuff. Wherein we do the complete gap assessment for them. Let's say you already have implemented firewall for that matter, but that firewall, how efficiently you're using that firewall, what sort of policies you have created, is there a gap in between? So all this gap is something which we do it for free as in part of our consulting exercise. Right. And that gives a lot of understanding to the customer. He understand, okay, he's talking to someone who already know a technology in and out. So that is the first phase of winning a confidence to a customer and understanding his pain and giving him a black and white face. Okay, there is no gray talks in that complete discussion, in that complete report. You have firewall. These are the 10 failures what you have to fill it immediately or else you'll be compromised. And to do that, we have XYZ solution. If you want us to do that way, we can do it that way. If you want us to do a complete sort of services, we will do that services. So that is where when the services term comes into picture, we are no more only in MSSP or that matter. We do the implementation. We take care of the complete 24/7 support. So there is a saying like we don't sell and run. So we consult, we sell, we implement, we develop the complete
end-to-end
portfolio with them, and then we are available for the customer 24/7. So that is what the DNA of Port53 speaks. Don't opt for a customer just to meet your numbers. So set the lifetime, and that's the reason why we have 2,700 customer by far. So if you can see, we started in 2016 and we are at 2024. So it's like 8 years hardly, and we have 2,700 customers. So if you go back and do a division of 2,700 divided by 80, you'll have the other answer. Right? So like opting more than 300 customer every year is not a easy task, right? That was at the time when you have a lot of players running for the same account. Right? So that is how like it makes different us from the rest of the other competitors. So that's the reason one should go for Port53. Hardly people are doing gap assessment for any of the. So people even don't do gap assessment for their existing customers, right? So they charge it separately. So if we do it, okay, that is something which we can do it for.
Okay.
So that is how we open the doors.
So Port53 assesses, identifies the gap and fills the gap. And even after the deployment, you make sure that the solutions is up and running, and you also provide the support and services after that. So that's how Port53 is standing out from the market, right? So
this is something which most of the people will say, even we do the same. So we have our own compliances in place. So which I'll talk about in future, or so when we'll have a separate discussion of XDR, why people should do it with us. So probably I cover in that.
So we spoke about the attacks that's being more complicated and sophisticated as the days grow. So how is Port53 solving the problems when compared to the others in the market?
Perfect. So you might have heard about AI in cybersecurity, all those jargons everywhere.
Yeah.
So AI in cybersecurity is something which everyone is talking, but they're only talking about AI in cybersecurity, but no one is getting into it. What is inside that black box? How we are doing it? So which is still unknown to people. Yeah. But everyone wants AI itself.
Yeah.
So this is quite funny, to be very honest. And basically AI, with AI and without AI, the only difference is traditional automation in SOC versus the futuristic automation SOC. This is how like I understand. So by far with the products, so every product is one or the other way incorporate in them as an AI, as a feature, right? So, but what stands you out, or what stands Port53 out is you have to understand how this AI is being utilized by the services companies, right? So you know that detections, triage, and alert is again a part of your standards. So this is something which a platform is already been doing, right? So which is a traditional SOC players are doing. So you have limited detections, research, and alerting, and that's how like you're trimming down the complete noise from the SOC platform. Then you want a minimalistic human intervention, and that is what like traditionally people have been doing it. But are we really following the complete SAN standards, like right from detect crash, alert analysis, contain remediation, and on top of it, like recovery and post-recovery, what is the learning out of it?
The complete cycle of it.
The incident finding to the remediation and the learning. So that is the future of, or the future automation people are looking in the SOC or the MSSP partners, which we are doing it. Since we already have our defined playbooks and runbooks. And these playbooks and runbooks are not based out of one or two customers. So we have a good amount of customers, around 2,700, which we keep on boosting in every TED Talks what we do, or any podcast what we do. So, and even the customer meetings, because that gives a lot of confidence to a customer to understand, okay, it is not some customers who are sitting there and having two, three customers, or 10 customers, 15 customers for that matter. We have almost 2,700 customers, which covers one or the other way, all the verticals of industry, right? So
Every scale, I believe, right?
yeah. So starting from 50 endpoints to 5,000, 10,000, 15,000 set of customer, or maybe 50,000 customer. I'm not sure about the numbers, but yes, we are doing it. So, and that's the reason, like, we are well renowned as an NSSP partner back in, it can be US, Europe, Canada, or for that matter, Dubai will be shortly. So this is what the scale is with us. So we are bringing automation and orchestration that include analysis and remediation of the incidents. So that is a complete automation process. And with the help of this, I mean, you will not disagree with me that human errors are not there. When you have noise of 1.2, 1.3 GB of data every day, right? So it is quite obvious to have that, right? So the kind of set what we have created with the help of Cisco and the solutioning and the stitching what we have done and the set of processes what we have followed, there is very, very minimalistic human interventions are required. So there is no human interaction required from initial detection to the complete full recovery, what it calls as an act. So this leads us to the complete self-securing environment. So
fully automated.
So the moment you have the complete automation in place, that helps you to reduce a lot of noise, a lot of complexity. So that helps to have a very, I would say, a zero error kind of setup in you. So that is all, like, we are a bit different. So we have a set which is a complete setup, which we call it as AI first XDR. So which is again derived from Cisco, and we have been the first one to adopt that. So it can be a CISO, it can be a SOC, it can be a SOC director, or it can be a SecOps manager. We give them a user interface. At that user interface is something which they can log in and see what has been happening. So we have something called AI powered detection. We have threat hunting and investigation forensics module separately. Then complete response piece separately. So this complete AI power to the response piece is purely AI based. There is no intervention of human, wherein they come and do policy creation, finding the detections, and so on and forth. So that has not been there. And just below that, we have a stack called Cisco XDR platform, which helps us to basically enhance. So it's like a AI is a cherry on a cake, what Cisco has been already offering. And then you have the Talos and the different verticals of services, like from the network, endpoint, email, cloud, app, identity, or the third-party telemetries for that matter. So this is how, like, complete power of data, power of analytics, and power of AI works together to bring an out-of-the-box XDR kind of story to the table of the customer. And this is how, like, we are different, because we have trained, certified resources sitting back on the table and do works. So we are, again, we are proud to announce this also from this podcast, that we have been a gold partner to Cisco. We recently acquired that, and we are in a journey of masters for that matter. So stay tuned for a bigger news. That's all. Like,
so XDR has become, very fancy word, and I know that a lot of people are following it. So I think there's a little bit of confusion between XDR and MDR, right? And how is Port53? What's Port53 and MDR bringing to the table?
So yeah, you're right. Because a lot of people have used this term in my meetings also. People talk about EDR, and there are people who are still confused.
I think there's so many confusion between XDR, EDR, MDR, right?
So now there is one more addition, NDR.
NDR.
So see, when we talk about SOC has three legs. First is your EDR, second is NDR, and the third is some solution. But this is how like I am seeing the future. People are not gonna use complete SIM solution as the only spot, right?
Yeah.
So people want a more trimmed and a straightforward incidents so because nowadays we are getting 1.2, 1.3 or 10 GBs of the data for a day, and that is where it leading to an issue of storage, and that is a cost to IT and IT security, right? And that is all like lot of operational expenses get involved. So people want to have a very precise, very trimmed, and to the point things on the TV. And that is where like XDR comes into the picture. When we say X, I take X for anything and everything. So when I say anything and everything, it can be your endpoint, it can be your edge, it can be your identity, it can be your email, for that matter, it can be your network, it can be your cloud analytics. So these are the vectors what I understand should be a part of your. These are the vectors which are involved to get merged with your Cisco XDR.
Right.
Example of Cisco XDR for that matter, because they are the most efficient one back in market when it comes to an XDR story, because they do all those 4 steps, which ideally has to do it in XDR, which is your correlation, orchestration, behavior analytics, or retention for that matter. So when we talk about XDR, X stands for all the edges of like I was mentioning what
all the edges in the infrastructure,
edges,
right?
Which gives complete telemetry to the Cisco one sweet spot wherein they understand, okay, this is something which we need to. So what exactly we need to put it in front of the customer or on their SOC dashboard. So that is what XDR has been doing. So all the verticals are getting incorporated to the XDR platform. On top of it, when it comes to MDR is, I would put it across like this way. MDR is nothing but managed detections and response. XDR is giving you that
a platform to do the management, right?
So M is nothing but the MSSP's role comes into picture, like how well you're utilizing that XDR platform. And out of that, are you following that complete SAN step, which I was mentioning earlier also, all those detect, triage, alert, analysis, and on top of it contained or the remediation piece of it, and then recovery, and what you're learning out of that, right? So complete playbook has to be there with the customer, to the service provider who is delivering this complete services of MDR, or else you have the best XDR of the market, but if your MDR player is not efficient enough, they'll not use the fullest of the platform is capable of.
And right MDR is so important, and it's become a necessary because an insider threat at least takes like 200 plus days to get detected. And when it goes missed, that's where the breaches and data loss is happening. So having an efficient MDR is becoming crucial for any size of a company or a business.
And there are a lot of compliances associated with the MDR players also. So you have to be ISO 27001 compliant. You have to be SOC 2 Type 2 compliant.
Yeah.
And again, depends upon the kind of verticals you are dealing, the kind of customers you are dealing with. So there are a set of compliances which you have to meet, right from the physical access to the kind of digital access you have to the devices is what customer identity do. So I was in a discussion with one of the customer. He literally went to the site and he's seeing that, okay, these are the compliances which is being followed. And then that project got flying with us. So this is how even the customers are very, very, I would say, precise when they are coming and shortlisting their partners. So that's where like MDR has to play a very, very big role when an XDR has to perform really good.
Right.
XDR plays almost 90% role in that.
Yeah, and Cisco XDR is that one platform which can get integrated easily with any vendor, right?
Exactly.
You could be using XYZ brands.
There are tons of integration
possible, and which is very seamless when it comes, right? When compared to the other vendors XDR. So the integration is always.
I can name few as well, just to name few like CrowdStrikes of the market or Extra Hops of the market.
Virus Total for that example, yeah.
And Cisco itself has the biggest threat intel platform, which everyone is fan of it. So every So name any bigger threat intel platform or tech for that matter. They are one or the other way working with Talos.
Yeah.
Either they are taking the feeds or they are giving the feeds. One or the other way they are involved into the company.
The Talos is market leader in threat intelligence because, world's 85% of internet traffic flows through one or the other Cisco devices. So the higher the visibility is, the better the efficiency of the detections are, right? And when it comes to supporting the companies worldwide, and Cisco is the only company that's supporting all the 500 companies, Fortune 500 companies, 100%, right? So that is the confidence Cisco has bought in the market, and that is the reason it's called a market leader for a reason.
Exactly. So everyone has an image of Cisco that we are a network company.
Yeah.
Similarly, like how Microsoft has an identity of being a I would say IT support or kind of IT infra piece of the market, wherein only O365, we are only limited to O365. Similarly, Cisco has an image of we are only limited to network switches and routers, but that days has gone, right? So everyone has to change their methodology, and that's the reason like Cisco has been the leader. You were rightly pointed. All Fortune 500 companies are one or the other way they are using Cisco.
Yeah.
It might not be a complete stack of security, but one or the other way, there will be a thin piece of security.
Yes.
But even Cisco started getting into that Fortune 500, and then Cisco security vendor for that matter. And you were rightly pointing that we have billions of events happening between Talos and the rest of the edge devices, which makes it more enriched. The biggest example is Cisco Umbrella.
Yeah.
Right. So that is where like Port 53 took birth, because we are Port 53, which is again DNS port. So we had our journey started with Umbrella. So we understand that, we see that depth, and that is out of 2,700 customers, like I would say 80-85% customers are using Cisco Umbrella.
Sure.
That itself gives you a number, right? So
yeah.
we're talking about 500 Fortune company, but I'm talking about the complete set of customers. So that is how that is an immediate start what you can do with Port 53 for that matter when it comes to MDR, just to test our MDR capabilities. Let's start with that journey. This is what I always go and say to customers. Let's start with Umbrella. You will start seeing the value immediately on the table. So that is the fastest way where you can showcase the art.
And I think Umbrella is one of those devices that gets deployed in a minute, right?
It's a 15-minute.
Yeah, 15-minute deployment. I don't think there's any other product that can compete with that deployment time.
Exactly, and which keeps you safe browsing anything. And
whether you're on the network or off the network,
exactly,
all your connections going out from the device is secure, right? Yeah.
So that is where Cisco is creating his own path to success. I think being a customer, it is the right time to get onboarded with us, which eventually will show you our ROI within 3 months or 6 months of the back down the line. So
okay. So we spoke about what XDR is and what EDR, what NDR, and what MDR is, importantly, and how Port 53 is solving the problems differently when compared to the other service providers in the market, right? So what would be the takeaways if we have to summarize in 2 lines for the partners and customers?
See, I'll brief in 2 lines as in our services is how we do and what we are capable of doing it. So, like I was mentioning, if you are a new customer to us, you can start with general assessment, when we can come and do an assessment for you. And on top of it, we can then go for a point solution discussion and based on the report, what we get. And from there, we can have a deep dive discussion on each and every modules. And on top of it, I didn't discuss much about it, but there's something called training and awareness cybersecurity program also what we run. And learn at the same time from the customer. So, and then we also do an automatic pen testing exercise for our customers. So that is again a part of what we are doing more than what Cisco as an offering. So there is 2 part of the complete exercise. One is we being a very loyal partner to Cisco. We do a lot of Cisco product. In fact, almost every security product what we do. And on top of it, we do the assessment, consulting, training programs, and then some sort of implementation and deployment of Cisco products. So this is what we as in Port 53 is all about. So when you are reaching to us, there's something which we can package and give it to you.
If they ever get a thought of let's have an MDR in place, then they Port 53 is the right place.
Yeah, anything around Cisco, anything around consulting, anything around testing, pen testing, or automated pen testing for that matter. is something which
So I think in one liner it could just wrap it like identify, fill the gaps, and then deploy it and support even after the deployment, right? So thank you so much for that insightful session.
yeah, thank you.
If any customer is interested in Port 53 service, I'm sure they would be. So how do they reach you?
Yeah, so we have our website port53.com. There's a space where you can go and contact us. But if you're a customer backing Middle East, if you want to reach me out, then I have my mail ID at port53.com, which we can put it across the end of the podcast, wherein you can just put a mail to me and I'll chat to you with the right people in the right.
Thank you.